49er faithful, it is I, FillmoeTrev, coming to you with my second official live with someone that I'm learning rather quickly now, CG Ruthless.
I'm a 49er, I bleed red and gold. I've been faithful since I was 2 years old. We bout to score quick and count another ring. Being a 49er mean I'm a 49er.
How are you doing today, brother?
Oh, what's going on, man? FillmoeTrev, I know we had something going on yesterday with your reception at the Fillmore District, man. They got to do a better job at your reception this time around.
Absolutely. So what would you like to get into today, brother?
Oh, yeah, it's good to go for a second time around, man. So, love the Niner Talk, man. I love what you bring to the content, man. It's got to be a lot of fun. For those guys who are not familiar with this guy, give this guy a subscribe, man. He even did like some rap music, man. Go check him out, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what? The 49er anthem was like a gift and a curse. It really was. It was a gift because the 49er faithful absolutely loved and embraced it, but the actual company of the 49ers was not trying to push it. They wanted to do some other stuff. And, we have Bang Bang Niner Gang. We have, you know what I mean? The icy, sweetie. So they preferred that. So, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, sure it is what it is, bro. But hey, at least you're doing something different because I know you had some of your music. Now you're starting to change up your platform, do some Niner content and all that stuff. So, and then your anthem theme goes with your video. So, hey, you got to go with the flow.
Hey, absolutely. So, hold on. What would you like to talk to about today? What is the first thing that comes to mind when I say 49ers win the Super Bowl?
Well, it's got to be our year. It's at Levi Stadium. We got to get everything healthy, man. It has to go our way, or this can be a disappointment, man, like they say. But we still got to prove it, man. We got to be healthy.
That healthy bug, that's something that is just surrounding us and has been surrounding us. But I think this is the first time in a few years that we're actually going to be going into camp healthy. No one's hurt. Brandon Ayuk won't be showing up probably because he's, working on the side. But I think this is the first time that everyone's coming in locked and loaded. I'm expecting to see Trent Williams having a phenomenal year. I really am.
I'm hoping so, man, because that, like, outside of him, man, it's only Pooty who's been our best lineman also.
Absolutely. I think he's going to have a Pro Bowl year. That's a quiet Pro Bowl year will be Pooney for sure.
Yeah, I expect big things from Trent, but how long can he stay healthy? That's the question.
I don't know. 37 years old.
Yeah, you come at a certain age, your body doesn't recover like it used to be.
Absolutely. 37 years old. What does Trent Williams' body actually have what it takes to be able to last a full season of football? Can he actually do it? I don't see Trent Williams as the type of guy who jumps in an ice bath after every single game. I don't see him as that type of guy. So it's
but if we're making the playoffs, he's gonna play through the pain. Like last year, he just played smart. He says, "We ain't going to the playoffs. What the heck? I'm not gonna do this."
It is what it is, right?
He was trying to be smart, bro. Like we're not even going to the playoffs last year, so there was no point of him going out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. There's more interesting things I think going on with our secondary. I think Green's going to be a shining star as a rookie. No, he won't be a rookie. This will be his sophomore year, correct?
Yeah, like we got a couple of guys that come to mind in the secondary. Like I know we're probably going to miss some guys. Like Malik Mustafa's going to be out for a while. Yeah. But I'm hearing a lot of buzz about this Jason Pinnock, man. This guy might make some noise. He might step into a huge role coming from the Giants. I mean, I'm hoping that Jair Brown has a bounce back season because I think playing under Nick Sorensen's defense, you're going to look like shit.
Absolutely. It's something about Saleh that I feel that the 49ers as a team are gathering around, and I think Kyle Shanahan's allowing this to happen. He's allowing for Saleh to just come in, do what you do best.
And control the defense.
Absolutely. I think that's
because the first time around he was just a handpicked DC and did exactly what Kyle told him to do. But now that he's got a resume, he can have whatever saying he wants. Like if he wants this guy, he's going to get that guy.
Absolutely. I'm excited for this defense. I do see how we have a lot of rookies on that defense, but at the same time, I think that rookie bug will kick out by about week 6. I think that will be the time where we actually see what this defense has to offer because, we're playing a lot of different rookies, but at the same time, it's show and prove. It's put up or shut up, and we have a lot of people that have been, hating on us saying that we can't win the big one. It's time for us to show that we can actually win the big one.
Yeah, we got to prove it otherwise. But I think the Niners are banking in on the rookie class. They're relying on this class because there's going to be more of the rookies playing this year. So it's like you're going to expect a huge amount of playing time from these guys. I mean, especially Jordan Watkins with these receivers being gone for a little while, he's going to have a role. Then you're going to see. I think it depends on how McCaffrey stays healthy. Then maybe you might see a little bit of Jordan James, but I think Jordan James will probably be the least guy who will probably play the most out of all the guys in the rookie class. Even Connor Colby, depending on what they see him as, maybe he's a developmental or something. I think the defensive line as a unit that we drafted, I expect them to contribute right away. Like Mikael Williams, I expect him to at least be on the like. He'll either play the first couple of downs and then they'll move him to the inside on those situational downs where they use him on the NASCAR package, like they did at Georgia at times.
Yeah.
I think they're going to use him that way.
So, Mikael Williams, does he have over 10 sacks rookie season?
Yeah. I mean, production wise, I think they're gonna try to because I don't see Bryce Huff taking the role. I don't see Yotomas Grados taking that role. I think they're more of the rotation guys. I think Mikael Williams, you picked this guy very high from Georgia. He comes from a very good program, so I expect this guy to contribute. If not, then this would be a disappointment. But I expect him to be a good run stopper.
Absolutely. I don't know. When I look at Mikael Williams' body, he gives me that Alden Smith type of a body.
A little bit, yeah.
But at the same time, does he have that type of motor? Again, he's only 20 years old. So what honestly can we really expect from a 20-year-old coming on to such an older team like the San Francisco 49ers?
He's got to be mentored by a lot of the veterans. But
yeah,
I think the one thing about him coming out of Georgia was he still has to work on his technique. He's got power and all that stuff, but it all comes with the technique. You know, if he gets the technique the right way, then I think he's got a lot of what you say about Alden Smith. Alden Smith was raw coming out of Missouri, and production was kind of almost similar. But I think with Mikael Williams, he's young. So you're molding a young kid coming out of Georgia from a good program. So I believe with Nick Bosa mentoring this kid and showing him the techniques, and then along with a couple other veterans, that's going to go a long ways for a guy like Mikael Williams to succeed, man. I just think when you watch his tape, he's a power type of pass rusher. He's got the power, but he needs to work on technique.
Getting his hands on those guards, honestly. I think as he gets into his adult body, I see Mikael Williams as a solid 3 technique. I see him shading that guard, and I see him be able to get his hands on and be able to read and direct and flow with the ball. And really, honestly, I see him in the backfield more than Nick Bosa. And that's something that a lot of people aren't saying. I think this young kid's going to push Nick Bosa to get back to how he was his rookie and sophomore year and when he won defensive MVP.
But, I mean, you're going to see the upside from Mikael Williams. I see a little upside of him being this may sound a little crazy because what we saw last year. I'm going to go with an upside with him being like Jarrett Verse. Dude, he's got the upside, dude. Like, Jarrett Verse has power rush, too. And I think
Jarrett Verse like 6'3"? Was he like 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah. I mean, he was the one that came from Florida State, but the guy had raw talent also.
Yeah.
You see it with Mikael Williams. I think the difference is you want to get a guy who can stop the run also, but he can develop nicely as a pass rusher.
Hopefully. I can't think of the young gentleman's name that we got from from Indiana State West.
Oh, you're talking about CJ West from Indiana?
CJ West from listen.
Dude, that dude has some pass rush talent. Like, he kind of gives me a little bit of DJ Jones, but there was a certain Niners content creator who kind of praises him as like a Warren Sapp. I said, dude, slow it down a little bit, man.
Absolutely not.
Slow it down.
He's built CJ. I think his name is CJ West. Built like a meatball, but at the same time, I think he can flow left to right, hash line to hash line. And I think he's going to be a huge dominant force as long as he can stay healthy. I'm very, very strong about how this training staff is working with the San Francisco 49ers, and I think this is a put up or shut up year for them as well. They have to do something to make sure that these guys can stay healthy on the field.
Yeah. They're going to need those guys to step in a huge role, and plus they're younger. You expect them to play through pain at times, and you expect them to contribute more than usual. The Niners didn't go too big on these veteran guys, so they're really banking on these young guys. So it's like they know that they had to go younger at this point, so they're going to go See, this is why they didn't go big on the defensive line, man. They didn't go in free agency to go get these defensive line. They went to go get these guys in the draft, and then they saw an opportunity with the Philadelphia Eagles that they were going to move on with Bryce Huff. So he happened to be a Robert Saleh fit. So slowly they're going to start going into signing some veterans. They're going to start going to the bargain shopping, but on a very cheaper deal. You're going to see some of these guys who are going to have to prove it now, because there are some players who probably deserve a little more of a contract, but it's because the market value is so bad, bro, that they might have to take less.
I think Huff is going to be. Huff has no choice but to put up at least 13 sacks.
Yeah.
We got him for, honestly, a bottle of Gatorade and a pack of Newports, but at the same time, Huff is someone that has a huge spotlight on him. And the San Francisco organization, the front office, the fans, we're looking at him to be our saving grace. And unfortunately, that shouldn't be his job. We should be looking at Nick Bosa like that. We should not be looking at Huff to be this extra person that can take the pressure off of Bosa. Bosa, you're getting paid $26 to almost $30 million a season.
To get to the quarterback mostly, but a lot of his stats are very misleading sometimes. I get that you guys want. I get that you want the 18 and a half sacks, but it doesn't happen every year. He's a consistent pressure guy, which I think that doesn't get talked about the most when it comes to that stat sheet. I think you look at him as maybe because the production has dipped down because ever since he got paid, but I feel like he's still producing pressure at the end of the day. You're not going to get a lot of these defensive linemen creating pressure consistently like Bosa.
Last season, I saw Bosa have more one-on-ones than he's had in his entire season. And I think it's because, I don't know if it was having Chase Young next to him, but I feel like when he had Chase Young, those two coming from Ohio, they
work well together.
They worked well together, but at the same time, Chase Young was one of the most laziest defensive ends the San Francisco 49ers has ever had. I can't think of a more lazier defensive end the 49ers have had than Chase Young. And for some reason, ever since he came and gone, I didn't see that production from Bosa stick. He's been acting more lazier, and he's getting into those Chase Young ways. And I'm very curious to know why. Why would you start to act like this when this never was you? But it was after that Chase Young trade, I saw just a difference in Bosa. Maybe it's just me, but that's what I saw at least.
I mean, you look at the film the way you want to look at it, dude. Like, you can look at it how you want to look at it. I mean, sure, the production dipped down. It declined. Yeah. But the only tape, when I watch Bosa's tape, I see pressure consistently. Yes, he's not getting to the quarterback consistently like he was. I mean, yes, 9 sacks. I mean, you're paying a guy $30+ million to get to the quarterback. And I think 9 sacks is average, in my opinion. He should get at least 13 to 14 sacks if that's what we're going to pay this guy to be. But like you said, it's dropped down because him and Chase Young worked well together. When we made that trade, it was a good trade, but the problem with Chase Young was the attitude. That's what I heard. And we're tired of those type of players, man. Yeah.
The chewing tobacco, the showing up late, acting like you really don't care. He became a young journeyman defensive end instead of just becoming a young defensive end who was trying to get paid. And he didn't show up really until Super Bowl. And he only wants to show up when the lights are the brightest. And we don't need that type of a headache on the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm happy we let him go. And because it would have been nice to have them both consistently, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to be
you saw the work ethic wasn't there in New Orleans also. So it seems like we did what we had to do.
Yeah.
Like, you look at a lot of these young guys, right? So we took a chance on Chase Young, which at the time I was okay with that move because you wanted to make pressure to the quarterback and maybe the production wasn't there, but you're going to need some of these guys. Like, if you don't get to the quarterback, it won't matter on who you face. When you face the Rams, how does Stafford struggle? Consistent pressure.
Yeah.
That's where he struggles the most. And that's where we get the Rams at the most, is that pressure up front on him all day. I mean, you get that a lot with a lot of these teams. Even with Jalen Hurts, bro, he's not a perfect quarterback. But if he holds on to the ball too long, more than likely he's going to get sacked or hit.
I can't stand the Rams. I can't. I hate the Rams. There's nothing worse in our conference than the Rams. And it's just I hate them. I hate them with a passion. Like, I hate LA.
I mean, there's a couple of guys with some talent, man. Like Sam Okawanu's got some potential. He just needs to get more consistent at getting to that quarterback, but he's got good upside, man. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, so when it comes to NFC West, who's number one coming out this year?
The toughest one to me is like, it can change from going worst to first. We can go first place right off the bat, but honestly, it's the Rams for right now because they actually are the proven team right now, but it wouldn't shock me if we go worst to first.
I don't know.
A healthy 49ers team can beat this Rams any day of the week.
Yes.
But we can't say we're better right now because they were the better team last year, and we gotta change that narrative.
Absolutely. So you have the San Francisco 49ers coming in number 2.
We got to have a chip on their shoulder, bro. We got to have these media people write us off because they've been on our sack all couple of years, bro. They've been on our sack all couple of years, bro. Now let them write us off. Let them pick the Rams. Let them pick freaking Cardinals for second place for all I care.
Yeah.
Because I want that underdog mentality, man.
I like it. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at that underdog mentality for this 49er class. You know what I mean? If we can take on that Michigan Fab Five, rookie Fab Five mindset of we're rookies, we're ready to lock and load. And
who cares? We're going to come and prove to you guys. Yes, the schedule does seem favorable, but nothing is given unless we can stay healthy.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to wide receivers, Watson, I believe that's his name.
Yeah, Jordan Watkins, right?
Jordan Watkins. Listen, I've heard nothing but praise from this kid when he was in the rookie minicamp, and I think this might be a shining star for us. I think this might be that new Deebo Samuels for us if he's actually to put on that weight and be healthy for us. What do you think?
We just got to wait and see what happens in preseason. But yeah, he's been looking really good, bro. Like he's got the speed, he's got the hands, he showed some consistency. I mean, you got Jacob Cowens also competing for a role also, so you see that with. But I think Jordan Watkins is the most impressive one of them all. The only knock on this guy is he does body catching. That's a no-no, man.
That's nasty. That's
the only negative part I come away with Jordan Watkins is all I see is body catching instead of like catching like how he's supposed to catch. But
yeah,
maybe he might change that a little bit with the coaching right. They might tell him, dude, you can't be doing that because you're going to be dropping the ball more.
Now, when it comes to these rookies, there's also an undrafted rookie from Nebraska that everyone is saying can be, looks like, feels like
potential.
Julio.
I mean, Isaiah Nair is like a 6'4" receiver, 220 pounds, runs a 4.4 speed, man. That's like, dude, like how the hell is this guy going undrafted, man? He could have been a mid-round pick or something like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for this guy to make the roster, or hopefully he can showcase us in this preseason to where because even if we do let him go, there's going to be a team picking him up. I'm just concerned that it might have to come to a rival taking this guy.
So, who's our top 5 wide receivers then if you don't have him making the roster?
Okay, so top 5 that I think is going to make the roster. It's pretty obvious that we got the 2 receivers who are going to miss time. So I can include Brandon Ayuk and Demarcus Robinson just for a different order perspective.
Okay.
So we got 3 more to go with. It's going to be Juwan Jennings, of course. Jennings is the guy. Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall is definitely the guy they're really high on.
Okay.
So that would be 4. Now, this comes down between Jacob Cowens and Jordan Watkins, man. It's kind of a draw, actually. It's a draw with both of them because they're actually having good off seasons by the 2 of them. But everybody's hyping on Jordan Watkins right now. So.
Do we cut an actual third tight end to actually pick up that 6th wide receiver going onto the roster? That's going to be different because we know Kyle Shanahan loves his tight ends. He loves to have all these different tight ends. Even though he doesn't use them all the time, he just likes to have them on the roster.
Yeah. But I think we're probably likely going to keep 6 receivers because I think you're going to include the suspension. You're going to have at least a couple of receivers on that depth chart. So I think you're going to go with of course, you're probably going to go with Watkins because he looks the part, but I don't think you're going to cut Cowens, man. Cowens is got everything you need on this offense also. So I think there's a way we can make room for 6.
I'm very nervous. We have all the pieces. We really do have all the pieces to run for a Super Bowl. Why can't we get it? I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. And I'm just looking at this roster from head to toe, pound for pound. We can fight with anybody. We can really fight with anybody, but can we actually just get through that hump and get over that hump? And I feel like we're looking at Kyle Shanahan, and he needs to have a zero fuck attitude and just lock in and go do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think low key everybody's saying we got an underrated receiving core, which we have to see what it does on paper. I mean, we know what IU can be when he's healthy. We've seen what Ricky did at the last couple of games of the season. He showcased that he can be the guy.
Yeah.
Can Jennings prove again that it wasn't a fluke? I mean, I believe he can do it again.
You got the jersey on, and honestly, I think he can do it again as well. I think he can do it again as well. I think
he's going to have to step in a big role.
I think Brock Purdy now has trust in Jennings.
Yes, he
does. I think he's going to be looking for him a lot more because let's be honest here. Jennings is going to be starting week 1 against Seattle.
He is.
Jennings is going to be.
He's going to have more opportunities than he's ever had because last year he only had opportunities because of the injuries and because of what happened, But absolutely. I've been pushing for this guy. I've been saying it since he was drafted or par before. Everybody was hyping about Jalen Hurd, bro. And I said, this guy's going to lose to Jennings.
Yeah.
And everybody said, you're crazy. And I kept pushing for Jennings for a while. I think Jennings is going to have one of those seasons where he's definitely going to price himself. We had to pay this guy before he goes up the market, man.
We got to lock him in. I like the Purdy Jennings. I just don't, honestly, when I see Jennings on the field, I don't see how Brandon Ayuk actually fits this scheme. I see how he can be pushed out of it because we do have Ricky. And I see how this offense is really gelling and having 3 wide outs with the single back tight end. I think right now, Brandon Ayuk is going to get force-fed the ball for the first few weeks once he gets back, and then we have to trade him. We got to get rid of the guy.
Yeah, if you look at how the receivers are going to be, like Ayuk, I don't expect Ayuk to have the kind of monster here because he's going to come off an injury. He's going to have to shake off that rust a little bit.
Yeah,
I think at best he's going to have probably maybe 55 catches at the max. I don't expect him to go off like he did the last couple of seasons before he got hurt.
Do you think we actually keep Brandon Ayuk the entire season?
You think he's going to be gone?
Yes. I think he'll be gone by trading.
I think it's just all talk, man. It's all talk. I think Niners are really kind of trying to work it out with Ayuk right now. Ayuk is proven to be the guy, but I feel like we can make any of these receivers. I bet you if Ricky was given the opportunity to be the full-time guy, I'm pretty sure he would have some kind of production, but I don't think Niners are going to move on with Ayuk. I just don't see it. I've been looking at other sources, and I've been looking at other players within the organization that are behind the scenes with Brandon Ayuk. They told me that the tune is not exactly what people are thinking. It's just not like I'll put it out there. I'll put it like a teammate of his, an unknown guy. I don't want to put it out there.
Okay.
But he says it's all talk. There's nothing going on right now. It's
so
just people are throwing it out there.
So you think Brandon Ayuk is just doing this stuff just for attention because it's the offseason and he's bored?
Probably so, because he's bored.
Lack of maturity,
but I guess he kind of feels that way. But yes, he did it the wrong way. Maybe he should have went about it differently. But what else are you gonna do? You're hurt. You got nothing to do. You want to get the attention a little bit, right?
Someone who gave you the most money anyone's ever given in your life, would you act as in they hated on you and they downfall? It's a weird concept. Me as a mental health expert, because I work in mental health when I'm not, potting and stuff like that in my real world, lack of maturity, not understanding, you do not yell at the person that butters your bread.
It's kind of like the way you put it that way, man. Like, it's more like he's trying to just show off and be a little arrogant a little bit. But I feel like...
Is it the Mayweather mindset of like, maybe everyone's counting me out, I got to hype myself up,
I got to prove myself.
Everyone else?
Yeah. I mean, you got to have something to prove. You do have to have something to prove. I mean, you're coming off a season where you got injured.
Yeah.
And everybody's talking about that this was the worst contract we've ever invested. It's got to get on Ayuk's mind that it's kind of, I think it's going to bother him because honestly, he has to prove it that he was worth the contract. And I don't think he's going to put up the numbers right away. I think the next season he will.
I think the bigger thing is that people aren't talking about. I think Brandon Ayuk was pissed off that Christian McCaffrey got a contract before he did. I
Probably
think
so.
I think that's a huge slap in the face. I think that's a huge slap in the face. I think that he
And
took
they
it
were holding up that
personal.
contract for a while too.
Yeah,
They could have got that shit resolved, dude. There was a time it could have been $25 million, and we were waiting too damn long. What were we doing, bro? It was $5 million difference now, but could have
it's
been different.
how do I say? It's personal when it comes to Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Shanahan, and things get done a lot quicker with Lynch because those three have known each other since Christian McCaffrey was a child, and they gave him money that he should not have got. We do not treat Christian McCaffrey like a regular running back. We treat him like he's actually family, and
Yeah,
as a
he's like
wide
Kyle's
receiver,
little nephew or something in a way.
and it shouldn't be like that.
It seems favoritism, but it kind of seems like IU
Nepotism.
feels like that problem child. You know, that one child that feels left out, right? That says, "Hey, what about me?"
Yeah.
That kind of guy. But yeah, IU tends to take it personally. I think his personality gives you a little bit of AB, man, which is a scary kind of concern a little bit. I'm hoping it's not that route.
You Ruthless, you hit the nail on the coffin with that. He gives you mindset of Antonio Brown. For the simple fact is, when he didn't have money, he was on that rookie contract. He was the most humblest. I'm on the
Most
block
humble dude
down
there
the
was, and he
field.
had to
I
prove it.
want to do all the stuff down the field to push everything. Hey, can I be a team guy? Hey, I know I'm not getting this right, but can I do this? But as soon as he got the money, we saw Dr.
changed.
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We saw a completely different Brandon Ayuk. And unfortunately, when it comes to men, my mom always says this: you can only judge a man when he has everything in the world, and you can judge a woman when she has nothing.
Yeah, and I think some players can't handle money all the time, bro. It's like some players are just not meant to handle it. Like for him to remain the way he was, bro, he could have took less and prove himself, but instead he got $30 million, which is a little bit over the market value of his worth. I honestly would have just paid him maybe $20 million, honestly, because if you can do well in this system, we've seen it with Deebo Samuel doing it.
Yeah.
And if possible, we could have seen it with Jennings.
Yeah.
And possibly Ricky Pearsall. Dude, I'm pretty sure Kyle could have had plans with these other receivers, but instead, he really loves Brandon Ayuk to a certain point that he didn't want to trade him. He made the last-second effort to not trade this guy.
I would have traded his ass to New England Patriots for at least a bottle of Gatorade and 2 front row tickets to go see Taylor Swift. I can't stand, and maybe it's just me, I can't stand his attitude and his lack of wanting to be a leader. To want all that type of money and not willing to lead, I think that's a shit in people's faces, and we don't deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, the performance showed otherwise, but he was hurt. But honestly, the attitude kind of rubs me the wrong way also. But I feel like Kyle values more of Brandon Ayuk. Maybe Ayuk is one of those, you know what Brandon Ayuk reminds me of, that rich, spoiled brat kid. You know, the one that the mother values the most?
Yeah.
But the kid just bites the hand that feeds and kind of feels ungrateful in a way. You know how that one father has a dislike on that certain kid, but then the mother has to choose that side, and then the kid has to shit on the mother. What kind of attitude is that, right?
Yeah, Wi-Fi says Patriots with Stephon Diggs and Ayuk. That's solid. Listen, that would have been solid.
I would have taken Terry McLaurin.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. They had all that work out there, and let's be honest, sir, that head coach in New England wouldn't know what to do with it. Wouldn't know what to do with that work. Wouldn't know what to do with that type of work.
Now they have Josh McDaniels out there, so they'll figure out something with him.
That's true.
Because last year they didn't even have him, so they're going with a guy who was a defensive guy and only had certain experience because he was a position coach.
Absolutely.
But he was a good linebacker.
I don't know. My apologies. This season, I have so many different expectations for the San Francisco 49ers. And in past years, I've always tried to keep my hopes alive. But this year, when I talk about the 49ers, I'm about to be so raw and so uncut, because at the end of the day, I'm paying and giving my money and my time to a team, but I feel that the coaching staff, Kyle Shanahan directly, and this offensive system needs to gel. No other way to excel. It has to gel. It has to. And us as 49er fans, we need to stop being so nice and so lackadaisical. We need to start acting like Boston fans, unfortunately, when it comes to Kyle Shanahan. We need to start acting like Boston fans. Roast the hell out of him because he needs to change his mindset.
Well, the one thing about Kyle, he can get you there. It's just, can he finally just run the clock? I mean, running the clock isn't the hardest thing to do, man. Like, dude, they can stop the running game for all I care. As long as they kill the clock, he can kill it. Like at least almost 2 minutes on that drive.
You're bringing up trauma. You are bringing up trauma, my brother.
Dude, like, I know people may blame him for the Atlanta game, but honestly, that's on Dan Quinn for that decision. But when you look at the 2 Super Bowls, that's on Kyle, man. He should have been able to manage that clock.
Oh, man.
Clock management has been Kyle's Achilles heels, man. It's been his kryptonite. Like, I don't think it matters if we play KC a third time, bro. If we cannot run the clock, it's not going to matter.
And here's the thing. When I think about that KC game in the Super Bowl, that last play, when you watch that wide receiver come back in to cut back out, that was against a backup cornerback who was on a cruise ship 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't want to give KC credit, but I have to give KC credit on that last play. That was perfect. And I hate to admit that, but that was perfect.
No, there was a lot of plays that didn't go our favor. I mean, you could say the special teams would cost us. Maybe the extra point could have been the difference. Maybe the muff return, whatever was going on, dude. We were shooting ourselves in the foot. There was a lot of things that could have gone our favor. Yeah. Like maybe in overtime, if we would have had the block perfectly, it would have been different. Or there was a lot of factors. We were that close to winning that game. Like Absolutely. Super Bowl 54 just wasn't that close, but this one was a lot closer.
Definitely. So how about this, CG Ruthless? Give me your last minute take on what you think is actually going to happen in the first game against Seattle.
I think going into Seattle, man, we're going to have to prove, like with the guys that we have right now, we're going to have to make a statement in Seattle. We're going to have to come into their house and let the NFC West, let the Rams know that, hey, man, we're back. We got to make a statement because beating Seattle, it's not going to be enough. Beating the New Orleans Saints will not be enough. We got to make statements until we see the Rams.
Absolutely. I'm going to say right now, I think we go up to Seattle, and I'm hoping and I'm pushing that we give them a fat donut, a fat glazed donut, and I want to see 27-0. I want to see 27-3. I want to see that type of a defensive angle for the San Francisco 49ers with Robert Saleh. We need to set an example.
We got to see that performance-wise. I mean, we got to see this defense come to life like they were previously and get those turnovers on Sam Darnold or get the fumble on Kenneth Walker or make those tone-setting hits, man, to where you intimidate that opposing offense. I mean, make them
hyped. Hey, you get me hyped.
I don't want just to win in Seattle. I want to stomp, man. I want a curb stomp on these guys, man. I want to curb stomp them like we took it from Thanksgiving that time, man.
Absolutely. Well, hey, everyone that is watching right now, do me a quick favor. Follow, subscribe right now to CG Ruthless right now. Okay?
Yeah. Lock in right now to the Faithful Talk, man. FillmoeTrev, man. If you guys want that ruthless talk, man, let us know. We'll maybe do a weekly show, man, because I like this guy, man. He knows what he's talking about.
Definitely drop in the comments and give us your thoughts of how do you guys like how we talk together, how we gel. Let us know if this is something that you guys actually want to see consistently. Whatever the Faithful Talk wants, whatever the fans for the 49ers
let's
want.
Get this guy some followers, man. Let's get this guy's channel growing, man, because he's got a good amount of talent, man.
I appreciate that. So, hey, CG, we will talk later, my friend. And until next time, hey, thank you guys all for tuning in.
Hell yeah, bro. See you, Faithful.